The future of our workforce isn't just written in boardrooms or factories, but in the universities, classrooms, and various forums, as well as in the minds of education leaders. They are the real visionaries who are pushing the boundaries in terms of creating the right set of talent, skills for the future professionals. In this series, Shaping Tomorrow, we honor them. We speak to various vice chancellors, deans, academic heads, and career services heads to understand how they are reshaping the higher education landscape and creating the future talent workforce. Join us as we uncover how they are transforming higher education to meet the needs of tomorrow, because shaping minds today means shaping the future workforce, one that is ready for the challenges of tomorrow. This is not just a conversation about education. This is a conversation about the future. And in this inaugural series, we cover the Middle East region, starting with the United Arab Emirates. Welcome to Shaping Tomorrow by Board Infinity.
Welcome, Dr. Sudhindra, to Shaping Tomorrow by Board Infinity. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. We are in the lush green campus of Manipal Dubai in Academic City. I think you are one of those very, I would say, unconventional career path, person who moved from army to academics over the last decade, and done wonderfully, being in systems like Christ and Manipal. So I am going to restrain my introduction for you here. It will be great to hear your introduction yourself for the audience.
Thanks, Sumesh, and it's a pleasure to be talking to you about my academic journey. Yes, I have a very unconventional background for an academician. I was in the Indian Army for 22 years. I was there as a soldier and an engineer. I took a early retirement after 22 years as a colonel. But I had several options when I left army to pursue, but I decided on academics. So what drove me there was my own small stint while doing my masters. I did an MTech from IIT Madras while I was in army. Army gave me that opportunity. So that rekindled my interest in academics because I was always slightly oriented towards academician in addition to having other interests. So when I went to IIT, it was a very, very good experience for me back among academicians and the learning atmosphere and all that. So I enjoyed that. So when I finally decided to hang up my uniform, one of the strongest motivations was towards academics. So I then, as soon as I left army, I went and started my PhD.
Interesting.
At IIT Madras again. Thankfully, I was in touch with the people there, and then they were also quite happy to have me back. So I started my PhD there, and then simultaneously I also got into an academics job as a faculty at Christ University. So I was also fortunate of having been in good institutions like Christ University, and then later at TFI Management Institute, and now at after the merger of TACME with Mahia, so I am with Manipal Academy of Higher Education. So it's been a wonderful journey. I've received more than my good fair share of good institutions. So here I am today. So with that diverse background, having served as an army man, as an engineer, then my PhD was in management, and I actually taught also in the management subjects for MBA students. So having two different streams, one is engineering and one management, prepared me well for leadership positions also. And army itself actually gave me enough exposure, training as a leader. So I think because of all those things, and operationally also you become strong when you are in army. And those things probably helped me in quickly getting into administrative positions within academics. economics, which I saw that I could actually enjoy. And therefore, I started getting assignments also in Christ University, later in TACME, and of course in Mahe. I've been getting good assignments as academic administration. So here I am in Mahe Dubai campus, which is a multidisciplinary institution. Again, a great exposure for me, because here, apart from engineering and management, we also have life sciences, humanities, and so on. So it's been a wonderful journey so far. I have enjoyed.
Great, sir. I think a wonderful journey, and more importantly, all your expertise that comes from strong leadership positions while back in the army, all those have been put into great use. There is a lot of interest to understand, the demographics, the kind of academics that happens, let's say, in the campus here in Manipal. So, could you give us some light into the programs? What are the differentiations? What kind of students are studying here? What are their aspirations? So if you could give us some light around that, it would be great.
Yeah. In fact, it was a learning experience for me also, the demographics here, because it's unlike what happens in India. The demographics is quite different. Firstly, this is an international campus,
right.
and an Indian institution is doing fairly well here. We have 5 schools, as we call them. We have School of Business, we have School of Engineering and IT, School of Life Sciences, School of Design and Architecture, then Manipal Institute of Liberal Arts. This is a new school which we established very recently. So our students, of course, differ from program to program to demographics. We have about 56 programs across these 5 schools. However, the large population of our students are the Indian expats here.
Understood.
Okay, so though they are in the biggest numbers, but however, we have students from about 40 nationalities.
Wow.
We have about 2,500 students now, and then they come from 40 nationalities. So, of course, the bulk of the students are from the expat background. Here, we have students who have come on student visa from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, these countries also, and then of course the North African region. So we have many people, and those numbers are increasing slowly. The number of students coming on student visas from the North African countries, the South Asian countries, and then we're also now trying to build connections with China. So admissions team went to China, and then probably very soon we'll have significant student strength from China and so on. So the demographics is widening slowly, and then and very interesting. Yeah.
Great. My experience here with Manipal University is that it's an extremely student-centric, university/institution. And there is a lot of support given to students for multiple, and the voice of the student is clearly heard. Now, with respect to Manipal Dubai, what are some of the key initiatives that you think are there to promote student well-being, and any key initiatives that you believe that are helping students who are studying here to cope up to the academics and the job market in Dubai?
Yeah. Firstly, of course, the in-class experience, we try to make sure that because career is one of the primary driver for our students here.
Right.
Because Dubai is a place for great careers, and then we would like our students to be ready for those careers, and therefore we provide a lot of career-oriented skill development opportunities for our students. So even our courses are delivered in such a way in the classroom that they do a lot of hands-on. We have a lot of laboratories. In the last 2 years itself, we have established 6 new laboratories. And laboratories in the areas such as FinTech,
Very nice.
computational design for architecture students, AR/VR lab.
Mm-hmm.
These are the labs. So because these are the ecosystems that students are going to encounter when they get into industry. So that is one thing that we feel that makes them career ready. Internships are we provide huge support for internship, because that is where the students again are job ready. They can hit the ground running when they actually graduate from our institute. So we have a very strong career support team. Unlike in India or many other places, there is a season for placement. We don't have anything like that. Our support for students' career placements and internships is round the clock, which means that throughout the year there is some activity going on. Students are getting interns, the mandatory internships, additional internships, and of course we also have multiple intakes. We have 3 to 4 intakes every year, and then therefore there are also students who need constant support for placements. So we an interesting thing that you said is about the well-being of the student, because there is increasing pressure on students to do well. The world outside is very, very competitive. At the same time, even academics can actually put significant pressure on students, because they have to get good grades, and there's a lot of competition among the students to do well. Therefore, some students need a little more help than others. And for those cases, we have one is at the school level itself, at the level of our individual departments itself. There is support in the form of mentorship. So we have every school of ours has faculty mentors for every student.
Very nice.
Especially the first year, the engagement with the faculty mentors is very, very strong, where any student, the students are encouraged, any problem that they have, their first point of contact would be that faculty. Faculties, they can give some first line support. They can actually encourage the student, figure out what support the student needs. Does he or she need more teaching support, learning, or do they need a little advanced counseling? So these decisions are taken by the faculty. And then we have counseling support also within the campus. We have what is called as a wellness hub.
Okay.
So this is
for the students.
For all students.
Okay.
So this wellness hub supports the students when they need a little additional support. Some students are under immense pressure, and then they feel the need to actually consult somebody. So we have hired trained counselors for such occasions, and the students can anonymously go to this. So nobody else will come to know that the student has gone there also. So the students have easy access to the counselors. Once they go there, everything is kept between the counselor and the student, and the counselor is able to actually work on the pressures that the student is facing, and then more often than not, this helps a lot.
Okay, great, sir. With respect to that, so the next question that I have is more with respect to the programs itself. So usually the practice in universities is that we keep on adding programs. But how do you really evaluate the success of the program? Is it just the numbers that we get in terms of enrollments, or are you also looking at this program as a far-reaching impact in the next couple of years, and we need to stay invested in the program? How do you typically evaluate academic program and success?
Yeah, there are 3 ways of doing that. Offhand, I can think of. One is, of course, what you said, the admissions, the student numbers. That gives an indication that the students and the parents value these fields, these programs. Okay, that is one thing. And second is, of course, the career services team is closely in touch with the industry.
Correct.
Okay, so are they able to place these students in for internships maybe? If they are able to place, which basically means that the program probably has relevance for the industry, and then our the students' profile matches the job profiles that are out there. But this also can take a little bit of time. Only when the students are in their second year, third year, only these internship opportunities come. More than that, we also have a large number of industry leaders who sometimes teach full-time courses, sometimes take some sessions for the students.
Sure.
And we are always in close touch with these people. And then we also have advisory boards formed of some of these leaders. So every school has advisory board the members come from industry, and then they are able to advise us, okay, this is relevant, this is not relevant. Even within the program also, which courses are relevant and which courses are not relevant, and why don't you add this particular course. This kind of advice we receive from this advisory board, and then that also helps us a lot.
Got it, sir. The other piece is around technology integration, right? There is a lot of solutions available out there. There are a lot of things which are meant for education, but according to you and according to the implementations here, what do you think are those one or two core technological integration which you believe are core to the functioning of the institution, and what have we implemented here?
We are, of course, last few years we have seen tremendous dynamically changing environment in terms of technology. That's almost, it's become a cliche. But however, the last 1 or 2 years has shown that the entire education ecosystem, higher education ecosystem, is going to change a lot, and that is where now we are focusing on. And personally also I am invested in this, that the generative AI is one technology that's going to make a lot of difference. So what we have done here is, because we have to approach this in a mission mode, and then with very, very clear vision, very, very clear objectives, what we want to get out of this generative AI. So what we have done here is that we have set up a task force, and then this task force has been divided into multiple groups, and it consists of both teaching faculty as well as the non-teaching staff. And therefore there are multiple aspects to our academics. One is, of course, the delivery in the classroom. Second is academic administration, evaluation, and then of course there are a large number of supportive processes like learning management system, the registrar's office processes, and so on. So all these things are going to be touched by generative AI. And another important aspect is that the fields that we teach, the fields of study that we have here, for example, life sciences, liberal arts, media and communication, these fields are themselves being actually transformed because of generative AI.
Correct.
So the job of this task force is to actually develop use cases. Over the next 1 year, several use cases to be used actually in the campus, so that we adopt this technology in a very systematic manner, and then we explore all aspects of it. That is the job. So we want to go very systematically, not and then not leave it to the faculty only. They are all doing it, faculty, students, everybody is already using it. We can't. We don't have to do too much there, but that usage, how does it actually, in a systematic manner, within a framework, how we are going to change our own way of delivery, our own curriculum, to make sure that we are not overrun by this technology. That also.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. There was a report created by AWS, which actually tried to look at the AI's impact, how the administrators look at it and how the faculty look at it. So administrators are very positive about the fact that a lot of changes can happen, but faculty is kind of not very, very strongly of that view that, it might affect their work. So it's a very classic divide. You see, I think from an administration standpoint, you see the benefits of this helping.
I am also a faculty.
Yeah, but that's not right. I mean, you have the twin role and you feel very positive about the fact that AI can really shape change. My last question would be around any kind of faculty development that happens within the institution. Is it something of a practice, or is it left to their own self-learning around how they should equip themselves on improving themselves? Are there some initiatives around that apart from student programs, faculty development programs for helping them improve the way they operate?
Absolutely, we have 2 tracks on that also. One is, of course, we have financial support to faculty to develop their own, professionally develop themselves. So we call it as professional development grant. So we allocate it to any faculty who needs. So they can take up courses, they can attend workshops, they can travel and then meet people, so to develop themselves. So that is one aspect. So many of our faculty take advantage of that and then develop themselves. Especially nowadays, a lot of technology-oriented learning methods as well as their own fields of studies are changing, so they want to update themselves, so they do that. Second is, of course, we have certain areas where we want our faculty to be developed. For example, I spoke of generative AI.
Correct.
What we did was we had a series of workshops for our faculty, starting with somebody who came and then said, okay, this is AI, generative AI. Then we had even Microsoft coming and talking about how Microsoft is helping higher education in using generative AI. So they came and gave us a session. So it's all context based. Now we also wanted to go towards, for example, we wanted to strengthen our assurance of learning processes, the outcome based education processes. So what we did was we got somebody to actually talk to our faculty about that process. So we have certain interests that we as an institution we have, and though we try to drive some training sessions for our faculty in those areas. So we have very regular faculty development sessions here.
Excellent. I think, leaving aside your professional life, sir, how do you really wind down and what do you do in your free time?
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So, many things. I have interests in reading a lot. I read a lot of books regularly. There is always at least one book on my bedside table. So that is one way. Otherwise, I'll go with problems to my sleep. Instead of that, I'll go with something that is there in the book. So I think that is one thing. I am also interested in music. So I record some vocals.
Oh, very nice. This part I didn't know.
Yeah,
okay.
So I do that. It's for my private consumption. I don't think anybody else would be very interested in listening to that, but I enjoy it. So I have a system at my home, a little equipment, and then I do that during the weekends and then listen to myself. Maybe my family gets to hear that. So it's kind of. So I have some hobbies like this which keep me a little unwind, I'll say.
Great. So, interestingly, the region today is expanding in the number of institutions. We are seeing more foreign branch campuses coming in, more Indian institutions setting up in this thing. Now, from that context, I think there should be a strong set of leaders like you to drive those institutions. So, any parting message for them to see how, because the lay of the land is very different, right? And what do you think are one or two key characteristics that institutions need to have to be successful in this region in terms of growing their presence in this particular region? What would you say those two things are?
Okay. I think one of the things that any leader who gets into a leadership position here and first time who comes here and then sets up something should first, I think, try to understand the ecosystem here because it's a different ecosystem from it will not be like a Western institution in the West, or it will not be like an Indian institution in India. This UAE has tremendous amount of opportunities, but the ecosystem is there, and there are certain fields that may do well everywhere, but not here. There are certain fields that won't do anywhere else very well, but it will be very good here. Because, like for example, I found that FinTech and this technology, robotics, these are growing at very, very fast pace. But there are certain fields that may not do well here. So try and understand that if your institution has to succeed, then you have to lead that institution. I think that has to be understood. And the student aspirations, again, those are also therefore going to be different here.
Right.
Because here the students are, majority of the students that you will get in your institution are not citizens Okay,
Correct.
so their aspirations are going to be very different from, let's say, a citizen of a country. So, what do they need? Why are they here? How long do they intend to stay here? And most of them intend to stay for their lives here, but their own aspirations may be actually slightly. You may need to understand that first. So. You have to spend time, and then this is also going to be different in each field. We can't get into assumptions. We can't get into assumptions that everybody is going to be career oriented. There are students who are very passionate about, let's say, journalism.
Absolutely.
And journalism may not have a career here immediately in the traditional way that we think of. But these students need, because they are passionate about it. So how do you offer a program that makes sense to the student, at the same time the student can actually succeed in the career? So how do you change things? How do you offer that some of those fields of studies in a very different manner? So you have to reinvent yourself a lot here, and those institutions that don't do that very well, they'll find it a little difficult.
I think that was an excellent message. It was an extremely insightful conversation that we got to have with you. I would like to thank you very much for doing this podcast episode with us, and I'm sure the audience would really love what you have to tell about the entire education industry in Middle East. Thank you so much, sir.
It was very nice talking to you, and great questions, and then I enjoyed answering them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.